Talked a little bit about non-conference. Is the RPI more important, or is it more important to kind of get that win that just gets people to notice you?
Both of those things are important. I think not only are you trying to find 3 or 4 games that can get you on the map nationally, where a big win is going to catch everybody's attention, you also have to have another 3 or 4 games that are going to help your RPI. So now you've got somewhere between 6 and 8 non-conference games that are going to help your RPI. And of those 6 or 8, we feel like 3, 4, 5 of those have to be the kind of games that if you do win, nationally everybody's going to take notice. So I think you have to have a combination of both.
Iowa State is amongst the they've got an improved squad. Iowa is still in rebuilding, and I see just to give it a chance to take on Tennessee at the Paradise Jam. How would those three specifically, and maybe even more, even the others, maybe even your Bracket Busters game later on, what do you think about when you do win those games, assuming you win those games, that would help out in case you do not repeat as Valley champ?
Yeah, probably a couple things. Try not to assume anything, especially when it comes to winning games. But I do think your question is a very good one. Because the league is going to be so difficult this year, I think there's a number of teams that could win our league. And when we go to St. Louis, there's a number of teams, I think, when it's all said and done, that could win 3 days down in St. Louis. And that's why I think it's so important to put together a difficult non-conference schedule. And Iowa and Iowa State being part of that non-conference schedule every year certainly is something that helps us, something that we look forward to every year, and we appreciate the opportunity to play both of those games because they are so good for our non-conference schedule. In the Paradise Jam, we open up with DePaul, and the field is very good, but obviously when we go down there, our focus will be on DePaul, a team in the Big East, and the Big East being the best league in the country last year, and so it's going to be a team that feels like they should be the ones to win and move on to the semifinals. And so we'll have our hands full in our first game at the Paradise Jam with DePaul. And it goes back to your philosophy in scheduling. And again, that's to try to find 6 or 8 games that can help your RPI and have 3 or 4 of those games be against teams that are going to catch the attention of the national media. And then go out and see what you can do one game at a time with it. That's the best you can do with it.
As far as your conference schedule, who are you expecting to give you the biggest challenges throughout the season?
Well, I think the league this year, and I briefly mentioned it, I think there's a number of teams that can be in position to win our league title. Now, I feel like we're one of them. I feel like we've got a team that can contend for our league title. I don't. But I also know that there's a number of teams that feel the same way today, and they should, because of the experience that they have on their team and because of some of the guys that were sitting out. So I think the race, although we've seen a lot of publications that have got us picked first and a lot of people talking about that, I don't think it's a case where everybody is picking us first and trying to figure out who's going to, it's going to be a big margin between us and second. I think we're picked first because we've got 7 of our 8 guys back, and we have some very good players on our team. It's an experienced group, and so beyond that, I think there's a number of teams that have an opportunity to win our league title.